This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Prime. In association with Micromax. Nothing like anything.
Hi, and welcome to On Art. This week, scrolls of canvas tell stories in Vinita Dasgupta's artwork. Street art quite literally paints Delhi red. And G.R. Iranna explores humanity through his paintings and sculptures. All this and more tonight on Art. Let's get started. Vinita Dasgupta takes thousands of scrolls of canvas and turns them into pop art style portraits. In our first story tonight, she shows us how to do this technique. Visual artist Vinita Dasgupta, whose work has been shown across the globe, might offer an age-old sentiment about the formula for great art. It takes a village.
I visited Tughlakabad in Orissa in 2010. I went for a residency there, and there I got a chance to work with local artists, who do patachitra, and they paint their own, make their own materials, paint their canvases with a lot of natural mediums. So I got very inspired by their, practices. They work religiously from morning to sunset, and I was very inspired by them. I have learned the technique from them, the folk art and all. I have learned from that, and after coming back from there, I started using those motifs in my work as a backdrop.
We first met Vinita Dasgupta at India Art Fair, where her pop art paintings stood out among the rows of galleries. Upon closer look, the viewer sees these aren't simple paintings. A work comprises of thousands of scrolls of canvas, carefully arranged to create the intended image. The process is labor and time intensive.
First of all, I draw the image on the board. Then I start rolling the canvases into pipes of different sizes, and then I paint it on the canvas, and then I start cutting those rolls in different sizes to assemble it in one image. That's how I do it, but it's a very lengthy process, and I don't make any sketch or layout of it. I just go with the flow. I enjoy what I do, and it comes out and gives me a very good shocking experience as well.
Instead of focusing on famous performers, the subject of Vinita Dasgupta's scroll art are often anonymous, but just as full of history.
From a distance, it looks like a design, but when you come close to the artwork, you will see a lot of stories in each and every row. You'll see a single story of either Radha Krishna or a boy doing his local stuff, or animals or nature. So I'm trying to carry the folk art in my work, which the local artists are doing in Raghurajpur. So when I'm doing their portrait, in a way I'm trying to incorporate their ideas, their art, their stories in their portrait. So it's them, I'm just trying to bring out the thing, but I think it's their work, it's them who are creating this thing. It's a way of expressing my, thanks to them.
Vinita Dasgupta also expresses thanks to an icon she says is her good luck charm. Visit any one of Vinita Dasgupta's shows and you'll see a pop artwork featuring Marilyn Monroe is present. And just as artistic legend Andy Warhol found a way to create new perspective from this familiar face 50 years ago, Vinita Dasgupta pushes the craft of painting into new territory with her representation.
When I was doing my masters, I used to read a lot about Klimt and Andy Warhol. and I love their work so much. They're so expressive in their own way. It was very abstract but very catchy and very contemporary. They're modern, ahead of their times. So I want to be the same. I want to try to keep doing something new so that I am ahead of myself, of my own style. I compete with myself, not with anybody else.
Vinita Dasgupta drew inspiration from villagers in Orissa. Next, we learn about an artist whose inspiration comes from the Northeast. Mojarto man Rachel Charles has more information about what's hot on the website this week.
Hi Anu, I have found that the rooftop of a busy television office is a great place to get a bit of solitude and a cup of coffee. However, there is something quite meaningful on Mojarto this week that Rahul wants to talk about. Northeast. Go and have a chat with him to sort of find out more. Hi Rahul.
Hey Charles.
Hi,
How are you, man?
Hi.
At a start of summer, huh?
Yes, it is, and lovely rooftop to sort of sit on. But you know, I'm really interested in this because, you know, I have been to the Northeast at least about 10 times by now.
Wow,
I've
lucky.
covered the music scene. You know, I've written in the cabs where they play hip hop and Led Zeppelin, and I'm really sort of interested in this body of work that you're talking about this time.
Let me start with, have you heard of Samar Singh Jodha?
Yes, I have heard of Samar. Of course, I've seen him as well. But what is this work about on Mojarto this time?
Mojarto, the curation that he has, is called the Penang. It's a portraiture project of a tribe which is about on the verge of extinction. There are less than 1,500 people left in the tribe. They live without electricity or access to flowing water. And the project and his works are metaphorically addressing this dark reality. If you see the portraits that he has with absolutely black and dark background, it's really bringing forward this big concern and issue. That's sort of Samar's work, one of the body.
Do you think messages like this sort of do come out and
No,
sort
absolutely.
of influence people?
Absolutely.
You know?
Art is not just entertainment and beauty. Art's true meaning and purpose is actually to communicate. And for someone like Samar, who's trying to really critically address an issue that he feels for a social issue, well, then that's what he's trying to communicate with it.
There is another cause also that he's sort of...
Absolutely. And you know, coincidence is that it's again to do with the Northeast. It's about the habitat of the coal miners of the region. They're using is discarded metal containers, and they use that to build their homes.
Well, it looks like someone actually does a lot of walking, man, because I've seen him fairly lean, and, you know, I think a lot of this work was a lot... Yeah, 100%. But, you know, I also realized at the recent art fair, you can actually go there, do loads of walking, burn a lot of calories, and actually not see any art also if you choose not to, which is what sometimes, my understanding, makes it a fair. Now, I know that there are many other places to sit, but what do you do when you've been on your feet consistently from morning to evening? You just need to plonk down wherever you find a spot. That's obviously because there's so many steps that one walks in a day here that one actually loses count. Well, some people actually were keeping count. If you were to calculate how much you actually walk in a day over here, would you be able to put a figure to it?
I don't have a count.
4 or 5 kilometers.
I guess 1 or 2 kilometers maybe.
Wow, that's great. That takes care of the Sunday morning run.
I think we just walked almost like a whole block and came, and which is not so bad.
No, when my mother told me, the minute she told me I was coming, I told her I was coming to the India Art Fair, she said, do you want to change your shoes? Because they're not walking shoes.
Yeah. You haven't really...
Today
did you?
in
Yeah,
very
what?
high heels.
Yeah, you
I did because I truly love art and I really enjoy looking at it.
Well, I have this app on my phone which says health, and I checked it yesterday. It's at 15,217 steps.
Just goes to say that there's social issues, fun, seriousness, wacky people, normal people, all put together in the art world, just as I discover every week. There's also a landing page for it all called Mojarto. See you next week.
India
Art Fair isn't the only event where you can combine art with a little cardio. In fact, there are 2 music festivals happening this month that'll keep you on your feet, and we've got the details on those and more. Here are your upcoming events.
Gurgaon? The Kabir Festival takes the Aravalli Biodiversity Park this weekend, March 11th to the 13th. Bangalore? Go visit Echoes, a tribute to Jagjit Singh at Chowdia Memorial Hall on March 18th. And just outside of Bangalore is the Indie March Music Festival on 19th March. Mumbai, the Vagina Monologues are happening March 12th to the 27th at Canvas Laugh Club. And if you're in New Delhi, Amazon India Fashion Week is going on from March 16th to the 20th at Nehru Stadium.
We hope that segment helps answer the question, what should we do this weekend? If you think your organization has the answer, then send us the details about your upcoming event to onart@ndtv.com, and we might just feature it on this show. Street art turns Delhi into a larger-than-life museum, and we're going to take you there. But first, we'll take a quick break. Stick around.